Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is Random Guy on YouTube. Today I have a very exciting topic for you. PDD Holdings Incorporated, a giant in the e-commerce industry. PDD is a large cap company with a capitalization of $80 billion and trades under the ticker symbol PDD on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. PDD owns and operates a portfolio of businesses including Pinduoduo, a social commerce platform in China with agriculture as one of its pillars, and Temu, an e-commerce marketplace overseas. PDD aims to bring more businesses and people into the digital economy so that local communities and small businesses can benefit from the increased productivity and new opportunities. Sounds impressive, right? But wait until you see their financials. First of all, let's take a look at the income statement of PDD. I took this table from macrotrends.net, but it seems like the latest quarter does not correspond with the information provided by the company. So let's fix that. Here we go. Now, here is a quarterly and yearly revenue chart of PDD. In the last 4 years, the average compounded annual growth of revenue reached about 65%. That's insane. Most companies would kill for that kind of growth rate. Initially, the growth was much faster, but now PDD is a much larger company and the growth is slowing down, but it is still tremendous. On the chart you can see the effect of the pandemic, then the sharp recovery, and then Chinese Communist Party started to shut down businesses and the revenue dropped again. However, roughly since the end of 2021, the revenue is growing again and the company is performing very well. I tried to extrapolate the growth to the future and added some seasonality, and here is the result. My projections are in orange. It is only a rough estimate because there are many unknowns, but I think 5.4 billion of revenue in the first quarter and 26 billion for the whole fiscal year 2023 is somewhat reasonable guess. And here are margins. Both the gross margin and operating margin are in a very nice uptrend. And here are my projections in orange. Gross margin is staying at roughly 76% and operating margin increases from today's 23% to 27% in 2025. So let's see what would be the effect of my estimates on future earnings. 90 cents in Q1 and $4.66 in the whole fiscal year 2023. By the way, the first quarter earnings report is coming very soon on May 26th, and analysts are expecting about $0.50 of earnings per share. Do you think they are underestimating PDD? I do. This would be a great time to remind you that I am just a random guy on YouTube and not a financial professional. My estimates could be and probably will be very wrong. Estimates are always wrong. Now let's look at the balance sheet. Almost no long-term debt and $30 billion cash on hand. The company is very much solvent. The share price dropped by 77% since the beginning of 2021. Meanwhile, the company grew its revenue tremendously, improved its margin, and became very profitable. Current PE is only 20, and forward PE for 2023, according to my projections, is 14. This is insanely low for a hypergrowth company like this. The price-to-sales ratio is at 4.5. True, it was a bit lower in 2022, but this opportunity may not repeat again. It is fair to say that if this was an American company, it would be insanely undervalued, but investors are not trusting China right now, and we can only hope that it will change. PDD would be a good investment, even if the multiple did not change and the share price just grew with the company. To summarize, here is my investment thesis. PDD grew its revenue at 65% compound annual growth rate in the last 4 years. I expect 20+% growth in future years. PDD is profitable with 20 PE and 14 forward PE, and the earnings could double in the next 2 or 3 years. PDD has a low price-to-sales ratio of 4.5. It was lower only recently in 2022. It has a very good balance sheet with no long-term debt and a lot of cash. However, investors should be aware that investing in China carries a risk. Now let's look at my portfolio. Last week was overall very positive for the markets. My portfolio rose as well, but not as much as the indices. The underperformers were Chinese stocks, which is one of the reasons I picked one for today's video. US consumer cyclical also underperformed. Foot Locker had some disastrous earnings. I don't have it in my portfolio, but it may have put some of my stocks down. We will see if that was company specific or if the recession finally hit. Today, I am adding $100 worth of shares of PDD Holdings into my portfolio. The full portfolio table is published at the end of the video. Now let me remind you that I am just a random guy on YouTube and not a financial advisor. This video is not a financial advice. Even though this is only a virtual portfolio, I do own shares of PDD in my real stock portfolio. For those of you who are still watching, thank you for your time and attention. I appreciate your support and feedback. Here is an average price change of all of my positions X amount of weeks after purchase. And here is the full portfolio table with each week's prices. That's all from me today. Thank you for watching and see you next week.